Welcome to the brand new letter writing series, and these are disputes submitted by you. Now, if you are having issues getting results and you just don't know what to do, you can use the link in the description, submit your letter for this series, and you'll find one of your letters sitting on my screen one of these days. All right, so I'm probably going to do one of these per week. You can find the link in the description to submit your letter, not your credit report, just your letter, and we'll go over it. As you can see, I've pointed things out. We're going to go over these one by one, and I'm probably going to break this up into two videos because it's about 12 pages that I went through tonight. All right. Now, I will also let you know that you can get faster results, higher credit scores, and a shorter overall dispute duration by joining the Evolution Line Method webinar. All right, that link is also in the description. It is free, so you literally have nothing to lose and everything to gain by spending 45 minutes with me on here. All right, that link is also, like I said, in the description. And if you need my help, as always, use the other last link in the description to schedule a call with me for me to do all the heavy lifting for you to take over and do your credit sweep. All right, so let's get to these letters. Like I said, I'm probably going to break this up into two different videos. All right, now just as I mentioned, confidential information has been removed by the person that submitted these letters or this letter, and this includes personal information such as name, address, yada yada, account numbers, and the like. All right, so if you're going to submit yours, make sure that you do so after removing your information. All right, so as you can see, I've marked up these 4 accounts. Now, this is not a full letter, it's only the dispute reasons and the accounts, but that definitely was enough for me to be able to go and say, hey, this probably would have been better like this. So let's go through this. So this is we have 3 student loans, and then lastly an NCA account. So I've marked this up, as you can see, with my blue marker. It's actually a whiteboard marker. So let's go over, you might not be able to see the numbers, but I've listed them 1 through 9. You can see 9 here at the bottom. So when we get down there, I'll move it down. All right, so the first thing is that there's too many dispute reasons listed per letter. All right, so and this is going to be in one of the quizzes that you're able to access in my interactive learning that I'll be coming out with. It's going to be an app that you can access, basically kind of like a quiz, but it's 1 reason max per account and 10 accounts max per letter. Please remember that. It's very, very important. I don't want for your response to come back as frivolous. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I wouldn't go after, the whole Metro 2 compliance, challenging for completeness and whatnot. The one reason given in the Metro 2 for deletions is inaccuracy, not completeness or, verified. So you actually want to go after the biggest ammo for inaccuracy, not what's missing. Because as you can see, it's basically all of these, it says, U.S. Department of Education needs to be removed because it's in violation of Metro 2 compliance. There are multiple missing or empty fields, including the date of last payment. This account is also in violation and needs to be removed because the date open does not match the other bureaus. All right, so and this is we're looking at number 2. So if you look at the second thing I said, I wouldn't go after the Metro 2. You want to dispute for inaccuracy or accuracy, not missing information. All right, it's actually not a violation for the open date not to match the other bureaus. So it's actually just an inaccuracy. And then number 4, and like I said, all these are numbered where it says this is missing this field. It's not a violation. All right, so see number 2. Okay, now I'm assuming that based on account number 4 that this has actually been disputed before. Did you pull your report on the 31st day after they received your first letter? There's just way too many reasons per account. So account number 2 looks almost exactly like account number 1. Now missing information, and it's reporting an incorrect and inaccurate date opened, and then the date open is listed. Please delete I definitely wouldn't go after that. I mean, you're going to see the pyramid that I actually drew on one of the next letters, but that's like way at the bottom of the hierarchy, and you don't want to use those reasons. Once again, if you go and visit the free evolution line method webinar, you're going to understand that you never have to even touch those bottom reasons. You can actually avoid the number one dispute killer and use the loophole that I teach you to never get out of the top third of the pyramid. All right, so if you want to know what that means, go and check out the evolution line method webinar, and you're going to definitely understand what I'm talking about. So account number 3 needs to be deleted because you're reporting this account twice on my credit report. All right, so what I mentioned here is that with student loans, it's not just going to be one lump sum. They're actually going to break it up by, either semester or, a couple of other things. I mean, it's not always by semester. So you got to read student loans. So just because you might see 2 accounts with almost or the same account number, that does not mean they're the same account. If you actually get a physical copy of your report from whichever bureau or all 3 bureaus, you're going to see that the amounts are different, the dates are different, the original amount is different, even though it might have the same account number or look like it's got the same account number. All right. So now, the date last active should be your first reason outside of the blatant inaccuracies. And I'm saying this because if we look at count number, what is this, 4, it says NCA needs to be removed because, as I stated in my last dispute dated April 27, 2020, this account has been illegally re-aged. All right, so that's number 9. This is a violation of the FCRA, and for that reason, it needs to be deleted from my credit report. Also, we're going into a new reason. This account is in violation of Metro 2 compliance. It needs to be removed because it is missing the date of last payment. So once again, we're not talking about missing information. They don't care about missing information. All right. If you go and you look at or it talks about the algorithm and Metro 2 and all that kind of stuff. It only talks about inaccuracy. Okay, so we're not even disputing for completeness. Now, the FCRA states, and this is actually from a different video, if you go back and look up my most recent videos from the last 60 days, the FCRA actually states inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable. However, Metro 2 only states inaccurate. So we're only disputing inaccuracies, okay, and then going after them and basically killing off all the rest with violations. Okay, so now with the NCA, there's actually a creditor and there's a collector. So I wasn't too sure about this one, whether they were talking about if it's the collector or if it's the creditor. But I would actually add the original date listed where they said re-aged date. I would go and put that date in there. This was reached from X date to X date. Okay. And I would not challenge completeness. All right. So let's go to the next one. And I absolutely love this because they put Willy Wonka 101 Chocolate Factory Parkway. That's just beautiful. That's wonderful. Now, another thing that I love is that their whole letter, like, is just one sentence. I mean, obviously, besides the accounts and the dispute reasons, it says, I checked my Experian report today and saw several errors, period. I need to dispute and challenge these problematic accounts, period. That's it. That's it. And that's the beauty of this, that this can be as simple as just one sentence. It doesn't need to be pursuant to this, and Congress says that, and this is my 4th attempt, and I demand this, and blah, blah, blah. You don't need to go through all that. You don't need to go through all that. And all you're doing is just wasting your time typing that up or handwriting it or whatever you're doing. All right. Now, besides just a couple of things that I've written down, and as at the bottom, you can see the pyramid that I was talking about, there's actually 2. This was actually pretty well written. I mean, so for Best Buy, look at this one. It says, and we're looking at the first account. It says the payment history shows I paid on time 10/2017, but I was 90 days late on 11/2017. I dispute. And this is great because they're saying what they're disputing, why, and what they want to happen. But I would condense this. I dispute the payment history for both of these months, and I dispute the date of first delinquency as inaccurate. Delete this account. So as you can see from my note, I wouldn't say payment history for both because it stipulates that you're on time. So if you say that it's inaccurate, you're basically saying that you were late, right? Now, I'm not trying to use, word semantics. I'm not trying to go in circles. I'm just saying that this could be put, very, very simply. I would include the why behind this. So 90 days late with no prior late payments, or 90 days late on 11/17 but on time 10/17. This is just not possible, or something to this effect. All right. So for JP Morgan Chase Bank, we're going to the next one. This is account number 2. It said thus, so I'm assuming it was this account shows a dash where a balance should be. The account is not reporting as accurate balance. Delete the entire account. So the danger of disputing like this is that they can just go and correct the account to reflect the correct balance, and then your score is going to drop. All right. So I actually would not recommend doing that. Now, if it had a balance of 300 when the balance should be $1, or it's showing $50,000 when it's only supposed to be 10, or whatever, where there's an actual figure there, then yes, I would definitely do that. All right. So Lending Club. Now, this person has definitely been paying attention to my videos, and I'm going to tell you why. So I'm sure you've heard me say this before, right? So for Lending Club, this account shows $0 as the highest balance, but the original loan amount was $24,000. So let's just pause right there. That means that the balance started at $24,000, right? So the highest balance is wrong. Now, I said pause right there because you know that the high balance means the highest the balance has ever been on the account. So if it started at $24,000, then how can the high balance be 0, right? Does that make sense? Delete the whole account. So I put that this is a great, and I underlined it like a whole squiggly, as you can see. This is a great reason because there's an actual law that supports this inaccuracy for deletion, right? I would actually leave this as is. Now, the second Lending Club account, this account shows 0 balance as the blah, 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 but the loan was 9.6. The highest balance is wrong with the whole account, same as above. Now, we don't want to use this more than twice, and I'm only saying this to leave it as is on the second one because it's the same creditor. If it was a different creditor, you would see below that I would say do not use that reason again. All right, so Randolph Brook Federal Credit Union. I disputed this account, but the required notice of dispute is not showing this account, and the account is still reporting it inaccurately. My rights have been violated. Delete this account. So the only change I would make, and it's not required, is to add the date you disputed it and the date you checked for the notice of dispute, right? Because they have 30 days pursuant to Section 623 of the FCRA to enter the required notice of dispute. So that means that you send out your letter. Let's just say that you sent it out on the 1st, they got it on the 4th. You count 31 days from that date, pull a new report, check for the notice of dispute. If it's not there, it's a violation. All right. So that's all I'm saying. Just add the dates. Besides that, that's perfect. Second one is my report shows I opened this account on 5/9/13. I didn't open any accounts with this lender on that date. Delete this account. Delete this inaccurate account. So this is a great reason for removal if this date is nowhere near the actual date that this account was opened, or this account doesn't even belong on your report to begin with, like it doesn't belong to you. Okay, so this account shows 0 as the high balance, but the original loan amount was $15,000. The highest balance is wrong. Deletes this account. So as I mentioned, you don't want to use this reason multiple times because it's actually going to come back as frivolous. Okay, so this goes with like the number one dispute killer, which is using the same reason twice, but that's for the same account. However, it also goes for your entire letter. You don't want to continue to use the same dispute reason. All right, so if you already have the reason in 2 other places stated exactly the same, is there another reason that you can use? So if you look at these 2 pyramids here, let's look at this the right one first. So you want to choose from your biggest ammo, and your biggest ammo is the one that's shaded at the top. It's like literally what's going to get the account off, most likely. Then you have the filler reasons, and then you have the dum-dum reasons on the bottom, right? Like the trash reasons, like status, terms, type. Like nobody cares about those. Those are all at the bottom. Okay. Now, if we look at the one on the left, that actually goes for the number of times that you use as dispute reason. So, and I just threw numbers out there just to give you an understanding of it. But the first time is a 50% chance. Second time you use it in the same letter, now you only have a 30% chance, and 3 times you're at 20%. So this Sophie or whatever account is actually at 3 times. So you are already down to a 20% chance just by using this same dispute reason on a different account 3 times. You get what I mean? So you want to find something else, okay? And then security service FCU. Once again, now this is 4. You have like a 0% chance of removing this. Use a different reason, all right? USAA, I would actually leave it as is. Okay, so now this is a little bit difficult to read, but I really should have changed my printer settings on this before I printed it, but I like how simple this letter is. Okay. Number 1, it's a good length. Number 2, it says why. And number 3, it says what. Okay. Please fix this item on my credit report below because it's reporting inaccurate information on my credit report. That's it. And we're looking at Capital One Bank. Okay. So it says you're reporting inaccurate payment. You're reporting inaccurate payment history. Please update my account information to paid as agreed. Last payment shows, I believe that's a 9/7/17. This date is inaccurate. Please update it. Show paid as agreed on Experian. Now, not only is this redundant, I think it's just too long. So I would change this to please remove this inaccurate late payment from 9/7/17 and update to update to paid as agreed, never late, because I paid on time. Now, while that might only be slightly less lengthy or whatever, however you want to say it, it's still more impactful to say that. You're saying what you are disputing, why you're disputing it, and what you want to happen, because you have to remember those are the elements of a dispute reason. All right. And that is also a different video. If you go back a couple of months, you will find that one. I would say like 6 months. So not a couple, more like a few. All right. So now we have a new letter. And I like this because they have the actual page from their credit report. Like, how much more proof can you get than that? Right? Okay. So as you can see, I actually underlined everything that is not underlined does not belong there. And I'm going to explain why. All right. But they did a beautiful job. Okay. So this is for First Premier. So let me just go to First Premier on my physical letters in front of me because I got them on my keyboard and you're looking at the one on my screen. All right. So the date last active is reporting on Experian as 5/1/2018. The date last active on TransUnion is reporting 10/17/2016. The date last active is reporting 8/1/2016 on Equifax. Pause there. As you can see, I also circled it on the image. So if you're going to do that, I would actually highlight or circle the information that you're referring to, when you are writing this letter and sending a copy of it. Okay. So unpause. This is an obvious violation of the FCRA and grounds for immediate eradication. Since this account has previously been verified, I'm also requesting your reasonable methods used to verify said account, including the name of the furnisher and individual who verified and certified that the account the reported data is 100% accurate and Metro 2 compliant. If this account is not certifiably and 100% accurate with full Metro 2 compliance, then it must be deleted here and now. None of that is necessary. All right. So there's like literally no need to sound like you graduated law school yesterday. And yes, there's a smiley face there. So don't even bother asking for method because you are proving with evidence that account is inaccurate. Who cares what methods they use? We don't care what methods they use. We don't care if it was the Oscar. We don't care if they called them on the phone. We don't care if it was one computer talking to another. We're proving with literal, irrefutable documentation and sending it to them to prove this irrefutable information that the account is inaccurate. So who cares how they verified it and who verified it? Okay. So take the rest of that out. All right. So I would literally just say this account needs to be removed because the date last active is reporting on Experian as blah, blah, blah. The on TransUnion is blah, blah, blah. And, Equifax is blah, blah, blah. That's it. That is literally it. Okay. You don't want to add in more than you absolutely need to. And I put a side note, also check out the fact that there's all this activity after the account was closed. Charge off, charge off, charge off, charge off, charge off, charge off. Now you'll also notice that they did put the required notice of dispute, but did they do it within the required time frame? I don't know. You didn't tell me. All right. So the second account is just like the first. All right. And as you can see, I crossed off the rest of this, stuff here, the certifiably and the blah, 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 the lawyer speak, right? So just add after the word Equifax, you see the little squiggly line that goes up, stop reporting for FCRA non-compliance of inaccurate data reported. That's it. You'll also want to check out a couple of things that I circled, such as the high balance, the date of last payment, and the payment history in 2 seconds. 2 sections. So if you look right here, how are you 120 days late after charge off? Like that doesn't even make any sense. That means they closed the account and then they opened it. That doesn't happen. And then over here, is it 30 days? Is it 60 days? Well, it can't be both, dude. So, all right. So here we go with another one. All right. So to whom it may concern, I was looking at my personal credit report and noticed some data being listed in error. How beautiful is that? Nice and simple. And it, I hear birds chirping in the background and, the sun is shining. It's so beautiful, right? The only thing is you forgot to put, what do you want to happen? Meaning, okay, so you found this stuff listed in error. Like, okay, now what? What do you want them to do? I would like for you to investigate this, maybe. I would like for you to investigate this and send me my results. And I would actually change the format here. Yes, I understand this is disputing only one account, but I would still change the format to be what you see over here on the right. And I've actually written it out for you down here, right? So I've also changed the bottom. Okay, you remember, you want to talk like a regular human being. Every single letter that I send the bureaus is like as simple as you can possibly get. Like, I actually run my letters through Hemingway, which is an app for writers. It'll tell you like what grade of like reading your writing is at, like 3rd grade, 6th grade, like what level of reading, right? So mine, I make sure that mine actually don't pass a 6th grade level. And most of the stuff that we read is at like a 3rd grade level. And I'm talking about like online. So you want to do the same thing with your letters, okay? You have to remember that this is not going to a person. I mean, unless this is actually going to go to court or something, it doesn't need to say any of that extra stuff. So, I mean, unless you're at home saying pursuant to the spousal code of, yada, 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 you're required to take the garbage out on Mondays and Wednesdays and Saturdays. And if you fail to do so, it is within my legal rights pursuant to said code to not sleep in the same bed as you. And you will be required to sleep on the couch for the next 2 weeks. Like, dude, no, you say like, hello, you didn't take out the garbage. I'm like mad pissed off at you. So like, number one, don't even talk to me right now. And number two, dude, you're sleeping on the freaking couch. All right. So like, get the hell out of my face. That is how you talk. So if that's how you talk, that's how you write. It doesn't need to be any of the extra stuff. All right. So tangent is over. Rant is over. Let's go back to the letter. In this one, they're disputing the date last active, right? Which is beautiful because it's like 2 different years and it's 3 different months. Okay. I've also pointed out that there's hell activity after the account was closed. Equifax obviously says that it's still open and being paid on time. July 2018 shows a 30-day late, and then it just goes charge off. Like, what happened? Now, if this is, it says it's a secured loan, so I don't know how it went from 30 days late to charged off, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to show you the format that I did change it to, but if we look at the bottom, I crossed off what they had. I understand that per the FCRA, you're required to notify me of your investigation results within 30 days. My contact information is provided. I look forward to receiving an updated credit report reflecting the above correction, thanking you in advance. I changed it to, please send me results. 30 days is enough time. I'd also like to see a credit report showing this change. Thanks. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a totally different vibe. So I changed this to, I looked at my personal credit report and noticed some data reporting inaccurately. Please delete this account. And, you could put instead of a period, you can put a semicolon or, a colon or, whatever you want. Okay. Or you could just put nothing. Who cares? Right? Mariner or whatever it is, financial account number, yada, yada. Date last active is different on each bureau, and this account needs to be removed for inaccuracy. Experian, date. Equifax, date. TransUnion, date. And then you can paste this down here. You can grab this and put it below that, and then there you go. There's your letter. All right. So let me see if I want to go past this. You know what? Let's go past this. All right. So we only have 1, 2, looks like we have 3 left. So let's keep going. All right. So, excuse me. All right. If you look at the actual letter that is under my writing, you're going to understand why I wrote it like this. Okay. So this is just screaming, please send me something that says that this is verified. Please tell me that I wasted my time. Yeah, Section 609 is actually about consumer disclosures and not contracts. And they can just easily make this worse and add a fraud alert by saying, oh, otherwise anyone can email it in or call it in or send it in, and it'd be a fraudulent account. You're also demanding, like, that's not the way that you get results, okay? You don't want to demand, and you have to understand that sections of the FCRA are for very specific purposes. They are not for your entire case, okay? Case law is for your entire case, all right? This is like a movement, when it comes to like court or whatever, okay? You're also asking for something that doesn't exist. You didn't sign a contract. So why are you asking for a contract on something that is not going to have a contract? Did you walk into the bank and sign a, application for a contract? No, dude, you click, check the box online, and it recorded your IP address, your information, blah, blah, blah. So why are you asking for something that doesn't exist? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So this is the fastest way to get a verified and or frivolous response. Isn't it much better not to play dumb, like as if you don't know what all these accounts are and find the actual reason that they need to be removed? And no, I'm not yelling at you, dude. Like, I'm literally not yelling at you. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to like make you feel stupid, because there's millions of people that use this letter, okay? But that's the thing. Like, if it were as simple as everybody using this one letter in any format using 609 or 603 or 1681 or whatever, that we would all be doing it. You wouldn't be watching this video, because it would be as simple as sending in the letter, getting your results in 60 days, 30 days, whatever, and that's it. It doesn't work like that, okay? These sections, and there's like a ton of sections in the FCRA, okay? These sections, oh yeah, there was another thing. There wouldn't be all those sections. It would just be one section, Section 609, all right? So you have to understand, These are very, very specific, and it has nothing to do with the accounts that you're disputing. All right. You're asking for a signed contract with two debt buyers. You're not going to have a contract with them. That's obvious. Why would you be asking for a contract with a collection agency? Like, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so the way that you're supposed to do this is exactly what I teach in all of my videos. You need to find the actual reason that the account needs to be removed, and you can do this very, very simply by looking at the inaccuracies and making sure that there's an actual law that upholds the inaccuracy, so you can actually get a deletion. And the formula that you use is what you're disputing, why you're disputing it, and what the outcome should be. Now, that may sound very, very simple, but I actually have videos that I break this down and explain it and whiteboard and all that kind of stuff. So it is really not that simple, but I give you all the information for free. So if you would be so kind as to go and watch my videos, I have 350 of them, almost 80 hours of my life that I've given you guys for free. It's there for a reason, to teach you to do this. Now, this bankruptcy letter I really, really like. The reason I like it is because I actually haven't seen this format before. Another reason I like it is because it's just very simple. So basically the entire thing doesn't matter except for what I circled, right? This should not be concluded from from information held in a database. And I further request to be notified of your manner of verification as eOscar or other means of automated verification is unacceptable. If you cannot show documented proof, I'm requesting the bankruptcy and public records be removed. So this is great because you already know this is exactly what they're going to do, right? Via, LexisNexis, via Pacer, whatever, right? So this is important because in Cushman versus TransUnion from 1997, congressional opinion was in disagreement with TransUnion, and that they actually needed to go beyond. I'm not talking about not round one, but rounds 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 checking with the data furnisher and conducting an independent investigation. So that means that they can't just go based on what they're being told. In other words, parroting the creditor. Okay. So that's why I like that one. I think it's actually great. It's very, very simple. And I don't know. I like it. I think that one's absolutely perfect. I wouldn't change anything on that. Now, if you know me, I know you know that I dispute court names and filing dates. Back when credit check total was not shit. And yes, they are shit now, but back when they were not crap, right? You actually were able to see that the dates would be actually different. Now, credit check total is basically worthless. Once they got changed over, it was January 4th of 2018. I stopped using them that same date, switched over Identity IQ. Now you can't find this information and you can't use it to prove, the bankruptcy. So now, 50% of the way that you were disputing bankruptcies actually disappeared. So it really sucked, but we're still getting them off. So you just have to really, really, really be creative with bankruptcies, okay? So yes, they're difficult, but they can come off. Okay, so I saved the best for last. And this is the actual original letter. I typed it to make it easier to read, okay? So we have two accounts, Santander and Wakefield and Associates, all right? So we have an original creditor and we have a non-associated collection, all right? This is the reason. The account number, type, date reported, status, payment history, and terms are inaccurate. Data status did not change, which means you, Experian, did not investigate. How can payment history show 30, 60, 90, 60, 60, 60, 60, and 90? Incorrect reporting. Remove. Now, if we look at Wakefield and Associates, we have account number, balance, status, credit limit, date reported, date opened, date reported, and high balance are inaccurate. Past due reported on a collection account is a violation. Remove. Violates the HIP Act. like it's like account number one reported these reasons, right? These elements of the account, and then account number two, they just chose the exact opposite of, besides the account number of what's reported. So if we visit page number one, it says use one reason per account per letter. This first one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reasons, and the second one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Account number one has 8 and account number two has 9. Yeah, no, that's crazy. All right, so let's look at what I wrote. So the first notation is, this means that you were 30 days late. You didn't pay again. You didn't pay again. You paid one time, which equaled 60 days late. You paid one time, which is still 60 days late. Then you paid one time, 60 days late. And then you didn't pay, which means you were 90 days late. So that's how that happened. That's not inaccurate. All right. And then the second one, how do you figure that the account reporting that you're in a, how do you figure that a collection account means that it's a HIPAA violation? How does that make sense? How do you figure that? All right, now if we look at number one, like down here, this number one where it starts with 8 reasons, just as I mentioned, the first account shows 8 reasons used. Like, what happens when it doesn't come off? What reasons are you going to use? Like, you can't reuse any reasons, and you just gave up 8 of them. You need to choose one reason, the best reason, the one with the highest opportunity for removal. Right? And so I'm actually giving you an order of best to least likely, or, however you want to put it. All right. Number one, data status. And I'm just going based off the information you provided, data status. In other words, like date last reported. Number two, payment history. And then number three, worthlessness, account number, type, status, terms. All right. And then we have the pyramid, just as I mentioned before. 1 is your biggest ammo, 2, and then 3. All right. So payment history in this element will actually go with number 1, but because number 3 is just nothing but worthlessness and the pyramid is filled with 3, I did need to put number 2 in the middle. All right. So if we look at account number 2, Wakefield is actually a collection. So this should have been a dispute first as unknown with the bureaus, then a validation of debt with the collectors if it's not deleted, and then past due, late payments, if not date last active, and then date last paid. Make sense? All right, guys, that was the end of these. If you need my help with your disputes, like I said, this is free, and you will actually get copies of my handwritten notes. All right. So anybody that submitted a letter that I do in a video will also get my notes back, just as I showed you on the video. All right. Number one, this is free. Number two, this is not just helping you, it's helping everybody, because we're going over this so that we all can succeed. You are not the only one that is going through this. You are not the only one that needs help, which means that by us doing this, we learn as a community, we're able to help each other, and we're able to beat the bureaus and beat the system. The only way that we're going to do this is if you go and you submit your letters. Okay, so use the link in the description, submit your letter or letters. Okay, you can, right now I'm allowing a submission of up to 3, but the more people that submit letters, the less it's going to be. So right now you can submit a maximum of 3, and they have to be different. You can't submit 3 of the same freaking letter, else I'm not going to use it. All right, so maximum of 3. Later on it's going to only be 1, and then if I have too many, I will choose based on what's going to help the most for everyone, because this helps you by showing you exactly what's going on and what it actually should be, and it helps me because it gives me content, right? It's great. It's a win-win situation. So for the number of people that need help, and the number of people that comment, and the number of people that contact me, and the number of people that buy my services and my products and everything, there should be a lot of people submitting their disputes. Just as you have no idea whose letters I was talking about, they're going to have no idea that it's your letter. So, don't be shy. All right. Submit your letter, click on the link. You also want to check out the evolution line, the evolution line method webinar. All right. Where I teach you the 80-20 rule as it applies to your disputes so that you can get faster results, higher scores, and a shorter overall time period. All right. And I'm going to show you the loophole to the number one, getting around the number one dispute killer. All right. For the rest of you, if you need my help as it pertains to taking over your file for a credit sweep, schedule a call using the link in the description. You'll just go here and you'll click on schedule appointments. You will schedule a call. Make sure you choose a time that actually works for you. I will only call twice, and after that it is a no-show. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I actually enjoyed this. Not actually like I wasn't going to, but like actually like, hey, like I really enjoyed this. So yeah, get to submitting and let me know in the comments what you think about this new series that we have going on. But without your letters, we're not going to have a series, guys. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you stay safe, stay inside. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to. And I will let you guys know when the playbook is live, when the interactive learning is live, when the Coach 10X platform is live, as well as my next coming webinar so you can go and jump on it. All right. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure to obviously subscribe if you haven't done so, like the video, comment, and share this with someone. All right. Go watch one of my other videos. Take care.